live from Utah's news leader. Fox 13's Good Day Utah at 8 starts right now.
Now at 8, it could be several days before police can investigate the death and injury of 2 people in North Ogden. We have the latest details from a chaotic scene.
I usually enter at least 5 river permit lotteries per year.
This campground in northern Utah is the subject of a federal civil lawsuit that may change what Americans pay to reserve campsites.
Plus, we've heard a lot about the slide in Draper, but other communities across the state are concerned about the stability of their land, where the Geological Survey is watching over the weekend.
We are watching the cherry blossoms bloom right in front of our eyes, and it is just so pretty out there, Damon. We wish we all could have gone.
Oh, it's a beautiful morning to be up here, let me tell you. In fact, the early birds are out for the morning run, the morning walk, even some folks in their bridal attire getting some photos in, avoiding the crowds. So if you want to come up, boy, it's a great time to be here. And it is a beautiful morning, although a little on the chilly side because of a storm that brushed by last night, and that's brought temperatures that are running a little bit lower than 24 hours ago across northern Utah, but we have made it up to 50 right now in Salt Lake City. It's currently 64 degrees in St. George. And luckily, it looks like the high clouds are going to be thinning out. It becomes mostly sunny today, so that front that moved through was a dry front with just a few of those showers that popped up along the Colorado border, but you can see that those are drifting off to the southeast, and as that plane that storm makes its way into the southern plains. We've had some gusty winds across parts of northern Utah and the canyons, and some of the winds in San Rafael Swell, as well as Canyonlands in lower Washington County, should be decreasing over the course of the morning. We're going to hang on to the sunshine today, so it's going to be looking good, but our temperature will be running a few degrees lower than it was yesterday. But even so, we're still expecting a big warm-up heading into the weekend, and we'll take a look at how that plays out and the rest of the forecast coming up in a few minutes. But for the time being, just enjoying some beautiful views up here on Capitol Hill.
It is definitely gorgeous where you are. Thanks, Damon. Right now, we're taking a look at traffic, and it's not too shabby either. Traffic conditions are pretty good right now on this Friday morning. Here's a live look at I-15, 4th North in West Bountiful. No slowing here. Let's take a look at our traffic map. Looks good as well. How about that? Nice little gift on a Friday.
Breaking overnight, investigators are on the scene of a deadly police shooting and house fire in North Ogden.
Scott McCain has more on the developing details.
Strange, sad, bizarre set of circumstances here. Again, 2 people deceased, and police now trying to figure out exactly what happened. They say it could take a few days, however. All of this beginning with a call of shots fired about 6:30 Thursday evening here in North Ogden. When officers arrived to that scene, as soon as they got here, they say a man came out of a home and immediately opened fire on them. Several shots were exchanged. They returned fire, at least one of those bullets killing that individual. Then officers finally were able to get inside the home, which was burning at the time. At that point, they found the body of another man and a woman. She had been suffering from non-life-threatening injuries.
As soon as the gunfight ended, they realized the house was on fire. Fire responded, and the house appears to be going to be a total loss. The victims inside the house, we had one deceased male. We had another female that was injured, and she's been transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound. It sounds like it's not life-threatening.
Investigators now trying to figure out exactly how these folks are related and what led to the shooting and what caused this fire. But due to the fire damage inside the home, they say it could take a couple of days before they get some definitive answers. In North Ogden, Scott McCain, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Family and friends continue to grieve after Salt Lake police say a young girl was shot and killed by her brother in their Poplar Grove home. The family gave Fox 13 News permission to show you this picture of the victim, 13-year-old Angelica Hernandez. We spoke with Angelica's best friend, who was on a Snapchat call with her. Couldn't see what was happening, but heard a gunshot on Wednesday.
She couldn't speak at first, and so when I finally got her to tell me what was going on, my heart dropped.
The best friend's mother there says she called the school, they called 911. Police found Angelica critically injured but declared her dead at the scene. Her teen brother was later arrested and booked into the Salt Lake County Juvenile Detention Center on one count of murder.
If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, free support is available 24/7. Just call 1-800-897-5465. You can also find resources from the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition at udbc.org. A Utah County teacher has been arrested for hitting a student. 61-year-old Carlos Castillo admitted to police he'd been drinking before class. Court documents indicate he became angry while teaching and struck a student on the back. The incident was caught on camera and shown to officers. Castillo is being held on a $2,000 bail. Nebo School District officials didn't specify the school where this happened, but that Castillo taught at Spanish Fork, Salem Hills, and Payson High Schools. He's now on administrative leave.
Developing news from Utah County. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources is planning to continue their search for a cougar that attacked a man. The 70-year-old Spanish Fork man is recovering after being attacked in the Diamond Fork area of Spanish Fork Canyon. The Utah County Sheriff's Office says it happened yesterday afternoon. He suffered lacerations to his arms and head, but escaped and is said to be doing okay. Officials ask you to avoid being outdoors in the Diamond Fork area for the time being. We'll continue to follow the story and bring you more as we learn more.
If you've camped in a national park or forest or applied for certain rafting or hiking permits, then you've probably used this online portal, recreation.gov. But do you know where your money is going?
Fox 13 investigative reporter Nate Carlisle tells you who's making money off of your outdoor fun.
I usually enter at least 5 river permit lotteries per year.
Crystal Music is a hiker and would-be river rafter in Moab, Utah.
I have not won one single lottery.
How much money have you spent on trying to enter these lotteries?
I actually did the math this morning. I would say at least over $300 over the years.
Music paid those lottery entry fees on recreation.gov. It's operated by federal land agencies, including the U.S. Forest and National Park Services.
Avid camper for quite some time.
Ben Friedland is a software engineer who's tried to use recreation.gov to camp in California. When Friedland and Music book or enter lotteries on recreation.gov, a portion of their fees later go to private contractor Booz Allen Hamilton. In 2016, it won the contract to provide the technical support for recreation.gov. The site processed 10 million reservations last year. In response to requests from Fox 13, the Forest Service released documents showing the company over 4 years invoiced the government for $140 million.
So we are simply using a model that is tried and true for the government.
Janelle Smith works for the Forest Service, which administers the recreation.gov contract, and she's the spokeswoman for the website.
It really pushes the risk onto the contractor rather than onto the government.
Booz Allen referred comment to the Forest Service. This is Tony Grove Campground near Logan, Utah. It's the subject of a federal civil suit filed against Booz Allen. One of the plaintiffs camped here and complains Booz Allen charged him what he calls an $8 junk fee. The plaintiffs contend the fees violate consumer laws and that veterans and disabled Americans who by law can enter national parks for free are also being charged processing fees. Booz Allen has asked a judge to dismiss the lawsuit. The company counters that the government approves all fees, and Booz Allen doesn't collect any money directly from recreation.gov users. Booz Allen sends the government one of those invoices.
We approve every single message that goes out through the system.
Adding more sites to recreation.gov, Smith says, frees up government workers who would otherwise be taking phone calls for reservations.
Think about it in terms of that value.
Recreation.gov customer satisfaction scores increased between 2021 and 22, the Forest Service said.
So I've spent a lot of time and money using the system.
Music is not one of those satisfied customers. She'd like fees lowered. It's not just that you've lost out on these lotteries. You don't like sending money to Booz Allen. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In Logan, Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News, Utah.
If you have a story that you'd like to see Fox 13 News investigative team take a look into, just send an email to iteam@fox13now.com or call the tip line at 801-536-1314.
We are seeing impacts from this winter's record-breaking weather in the form of landslides. People are worried their communities could be next. Geologists with the Utah Geological Survey are busier than ever, monitoring more than 100 landslide zones they say are incredibly active with the heavy snowfall and rain this spring. Director Bill Keach says they are tracking the movement of these landslides, which are moving more rapidly and in turn threatening people's homes on hillsides.
And all over, everywhere from Springville up to Bear Lake. And with the enhanced rain, we expect a lot more water in the soil, which will loosen up a lot of those things that have been holding landslides in place.
Keach says homeowners near any sort of hill should be vigilant in reporting any moving land they notice to the survey or their local municipalities.
Salt Lake City is warning about creeks flowing higher and faster as temperatures warm up, causing increased danger and potential flooding. The city says waterways and water infrastructure should have the capacity to accommodate the increased flows over the next several days. But the city does have sandbags ready to go so crews can respond quickly if any flooding happens. Public utility teams are also busy clearing debris from streams. Salt Lake County is encouraging property owners who live near streams to clear debris from the banks before the water rises, but be careful of getting too close to fast-moving water.
After the break, the amazing story of an Air Force cadet who lost a limb about a year ago and is running a 5K tomorrow.
Good morning. We are hugging trees this morning because it is Arbor Day being celebrated here in Utah. But it's more than just hugging and petting trees. We have all the details coming up at Red Butte Garden this morning. They have a special celebration. Stick around.